Hello, everybody. Long time no see. I've got some time on my hands right now. I'm on sabbatical this semester, and over the last couple of weeks, I've been getting through some COVID. Yep, the Rona finally caught me, and so I've been playing a lot of Wordle type games, and one of those games is called Waffle. So the way a waffle puzzle looks, as well, you can see it here on the screen. You're going to start with a 5 by 5 grid. Okay, there's a couple of spots in here which have been removed. And you're going to be making 6 different words. So you go top row, middle row, bottom row, there's 3, and then first column, third column, fifth column, there's 3 more. At the beginning of the game, they give you some of the letters. So for example, here you see a green block with a Q in it. The green tells you that is a correct letter in the correct position. The yellow blocks tell you that you have a correct letter for that word, but maybe in an incorrect position. So, well, definitely in an incorrect position. So this I is going to be somewhere in this top word, but it's definitely not in the 4th position. This R, actually, it's a little bit tricky because it's either in this top row word or it's in the middle column word. We're not sure which. And then if you have a gray bordered letter, then that tells you, well, that letter is going to be somewhere in this grid, but it's definitely not in this word. So we know this R is not in this third, the 5th column word. Okay, so what do you need to do? Well, you need to figure out what all the words are, and you're going to do it by moving these blocks around. So in the language of group theory or in permutation theory, we would say you're going to transpose 2 of the letters. So you might, for example, say, oh, let me take this I and this R, and we will swap the positions. We'll transpose those 2 letters. And every time you do it, the grid will update. It'll change the letters to tell you, hey, do you have something in the right position, or is it in the right word but in the wrong position, etc. Okay, so at the end of the day, you're going to end up with something like this, right? So here you can see we have quirk and apart and leery, quail, image, and kitty. All right, so this is a word game, right? What does this have to do with math? Well, the math part of this has to do with these transpositions. So I get to some point before I've written anything down, right, or moved anything around, where I figured out what all these words were, right? So here, for example, we have figured out what all the words are. Now, when you play the game, you have to do these swaps, these transpositions, and they only give you 15 of them. Okay, so you start moving stuff around, and if you already know the words at the very beginning, what the actual solution should be, it really shouldn't be that hard just through randomly moving things around. Well, not randomly, but moving things into places you know they should be. You should almost 100% of the time be able to do that within 15 moves without planning any strategy. However, what the website tells you is that it is actually possible to do it in 10 moves. You only need 10 swaps. And just doing it right in naive ways, you usually will not end up doing it in 10 swaps. Maybe it takes you 13 swaps, right? So if it takes you 13 swaps, you only had 2 guesses left or swaps left, and they give you 2 stars. If it took you 11 swaps, oh, you'd have 4 left, they give you 4 stars, right? But the holy grail, right, is to do it in only 10 swaps so you get a 5-star rating. So that's the goal. And so I spent some time this morning working out how, if you know the solution to the puzzle from the start, how you can guarantee that you're going to be able to do it in 10 swaps, right? And actually work out what those 10 swaps are. Okay? So I want to show you, I'm going to give you a couple examples. This first one is actually one of the easier waffles, right? And you'll kind of see why in hindsight. But what I'm going to do is make another copy of this grid. And I'll start by, let's say we'll do a Q here, and we'll do the K. We'll come down here, do the P and the A, and then we'll have L, E, and Y. Okay, so those are the known from the start. And then what I'm going to do is fill in all the rest, but not with the letters that they are, but rather with numbers. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, and then we'll come down here. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So at the very beginning, there were 14 unknown letters, right? In the sense that we don't know what is actually supposed to go in 13, right? Now at the end, okay, it's going to be an E. Okay, but in principle, right, we looked at the left-hand grid and we said, we only know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the letters, right, of the 21. All right, so once we have, though, the solution, what we can do is using the notation of permutations, right, we're going to use the cycle notation, I can actually write down a transformation that goes from this left side to the right. So here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to just start with a 1, okay? And what was in the 1 position, right? So I come over here to the 1. That was a T. And where would I like to move the T? Well, I actually have a couple of places I can put the T, right? Because I look over here and I know I'm supposed to have a T either in this number 9 or number 12 position. Okay, pick one of them. It doesn't matter, okay? You're not going to be wrong here. So I'll just pick number 9. All right, so I've done my 1, and now that went over to the number 9. Now, what was in the 9 position? That was this, that was actually a G, right? So we moved a T into this position, but what was it? Originally, it was a G. Where do I want to move the G? Well, I want to move the G down here into image, which is in the 11 position. So I'm going to send 9 to 11. All right, cool. So we've got this G taken care of. Now, where does the 11 go? Well, let's see. The 11 was an E. Where do I want to put the E? Well, okay, I have a couple E's in Leary. So let's see. This E on the right here was already fixed. So how about I send it to this position, right, which is the 13 position. All right, what about 13? 13 was R. Let's see, R, actually, that can stay in this word Leary, so that can go into the 14 position, which is over here. All right, now I have a U. Where do I move a U? Well, I need a U in both Quail and in Quirk. How about we'll do the, we just do the U in Quirk, right? That goes into the 1 position, and hey, that finishes off this permutation. Okay, so I'm basically going to be rotating 1 to 9, 9 to 11, 11 to 13, 13 to 14, 14 back to 1. Okay, now what have I not moved around? Well, the 2. So that's a good place to start a next cycle. So the 2, that's here in the R position. So what is this R? Well, I need an R in Quirk. That's in the 3 position. I haven't used that yet. So 2 can go to 3. Okay, so let's see here. That goes into that 3rd position, which is an I. I need to move I into, well, that could go into the 2 position. I need it for Quirk. So actually, I could just close this up right here as 2 and 3. All right, so what's next? Well, I haven't used up the 4. So let's start a new cycle. And we'll start at 4, which is over here at this A. And where can A go? Well, A needs to go into Quail, for example. So I can move it down 1 into the 7 position. Okay, where I had an M. Okay, M needs to go into the 2nd spot of image, which is the 5 position. Okay, so that's actually a T. Where can I put a T? Well, I needed a T in Kitty, and we already did one in the 9 position, so I'll go down 1 to the 12 position. So that's here. That's an I. Where can I put an I? Well, I need one in Quail, which is in the 10 position. I haven't used 10 yet. All right, so 10 position has a U. Where can I put a U? Well, I need a U in Quail, right? That goes into the 4 position. Perfect. I could close this off. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I'm missing a couple. So let's see what am I missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I haven't done 6. All right, so the 6th position is this R. And where does R go? Let's see, I need an R in apart, which should be the 8 position, which I haven't used. Okay, so that's the I. And where can I go? Well, I needs to go into kitty, which is the 6th position. So I can close this off. Okay, so I have now used up all 14 of the numbers. And now the question is that these are not swaps, right? These are not transpositions. How can I rewrite this as a bunch of transpositions? In fact, I want to have exactly 10 transpositions. Well, the cool thing about cycles is that there's a very easy way of turning them into products of transpositions. So as an example on the side, if you have something like A, B, C, D, you can rewrite this as, well, we're just going to write down adjacencies. So A, B, there's a transposition, then I do B, C, then I do C, D. And you can check, does everything go where it's supposed to be? Where does A go? Well, fixed, fixed, A goes to B, perfect. Where does B go? Well, B goes to C, and then, okay, B goes to C. Where does C go? Well, C goes to D, and, there it's fixed. Okay, so C goes to D. Where does D go? Well, D goes to C goes to B goes to A. So D goes to A, hey, perfect. So I can do that here. I can rewrite this as 1, 9, 9, 11, 11, 13, 13, 14. Okay, now I finished off this first 5 cycle. Now I do 2, 3, nothing to do there. Now I have another 5 cycles, so I do 4, 7, 7, 5, 5, 12, 12, 10. I finished that one off, and then there's this 6, 8 on the end. And you count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you're going to do 10 swaps, and you can just easily verify by doing these swaps. Remember, you're starting from the right-hand side. Right? This is a composition of functions, so we start with the 6, 8. But we do these 10 swaps, and you will get from 1 to 2. Okay, so if I call that sigma, then sigma will transform this grid on the left into this grid on the right. Okay, that was actually a really easy example because we didn't have to work hard. All right, as soon as we broke it up, we had 10 swaps. We're really, really happy. Nothing more to do. So I want to do a second example, but this example is going to be a little more challenging because if we just do it in the most naive way, it's not going to give us 10 swaps. So we're going to have to be a little more clever. All right. Okay, so here we go with our second example. This actually is coming from today, May 17th, 2022. And so here, again, I'm starting with a puzzle that's unsolved. Somehow, some way, I look at this this jumble of letters, this waffle, and I work out what the words are. And okay, so I did that. All right, so I get what the words are. And now I am, once again, going to recopy this original grid, but I'm going to put in some numbers. So I'm going to put in here the T, the R, there'll be an L on the end. Let's see, then we're going to have an A, an L on the bottom, and an H. So my numbers I'm going to get are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So notice this time, right, there's actually 15 unknowns. Okay, so different waffles will have a different number of unknowns. Okay, now I again want to convert from the original grid into the solution grid. So there's going to be some permutation, right? Call it sigma. And what is that going to be? Well, let's start again with 1. So the 1 here is in the middle. That's our C. And where do I want to put the C? How about I put it into tract? All right, so that's in the 8 position. Okay, so the 8 position here is a T. Where can that go? Let's see. Well, that could go to the end of tract. So that could go into the 9 position, which has an E in it. Let's see now. E can go into leech. All right, so that could go into the 13 position, which is an O. All right, where can O go? I need it in total, so I could put over here in the 3 position. Okay, which has a T. T T can go into, well, it could go down 1 into the 6th position, which is an A. A has to go down 1 into the 10 position, which is a T. All right, now where can T go? Let's see. Well, I need a T in tract at the end. And that's an, oh, nope, we already used 9, so it's not going to be that. How about, ovate, right? We need a T down here in the 11 position. Okay, which is a C. C could go into leech, which is in the 15 position. And that's an R. Where could R go? Let's see. Tract. We need it in the 7 position. That's an O. Where can the O go? Well, we needed an O in ovate, right? That's the 1 position, so I can close this off. All right, have I used all 15? Definitely not. I'm missing 2. So let's start a new one. So there's a 2, which is the A. Where can A go? A could go into latch, which is in the 5 position. So that's a C right now. Where can C go? Let's see. We've already done the C in leech. Oh, latch also needs a C down in the 12 position, which was an E. All right, let's see. E, well, we need another E in leech, so I could go into the 14 position, which is now a V. V has to go into ovate. That's in the 4 position. Okay, that's an L. And where can the L go? Well, let's see. We need an L in... let's see, we have the total... Oh, troll, right? No, wait, we already have an L in troll. No, actually, we do need the L in troll, right? Yeah, so that goes into the 2 position. Perfect, 4 goes back to 2. Okay, let's double check. We should have 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Beautiful, we've got everything. Okay, so I've now written my permutation as a product of 2 disjoint cycles. And if I use this trick from before to write this now as a product of transpositions, let's just count how many we would get. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, well 13's not bad. It's certainly less than the 15 that they give you to do it, but we're trying to get it down to 10. How can we do that? So this is the clever bit, all right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write above these numbers what letters were in those positions. So like the 1 was a C. Okay, the 8 is a T, the 9 is an E, 13, that was an O, 3 is a T, 6 is an A, 10 is a T, 11 is a C, 15 is an R, 7 is an O, let's see, 2 is an A, 5 is a C, 12 is an E, 14 is a V, and 4 is an L. Okay, what I notice in here is in this second cycle, the 5 cycle, there are no repeat letters, which means that I'm going to break this up just as I did before. So this piece here, I'm just going to break it up as 2, 5, 5, 12, 12, 14, 14, 4. Okay, nothing different than before. However, in this first cycle, right, this 10 cycle, there's actually a bunch of repetitions. I have a C that shows up twice, and I have a T that actually shows up 3 different times. When this happens, we're going to be able to rewrite this in a more concise manner, utilizing the fact that we don't really care which C goes into the 8 position. Right? We know that a C has to end up in this number 8 position, but it doesn't matter whether it's the one coming from position 1, position 11. Okay? So that's what we're going to try to do here, and I'll show you a way that we can go about doing this. So the first thing I want to do, looking at this long 10 cycle here, is I want to just shuffle it, right? I want to cycle it so that I put this C at the very end. Okay, so that's easy enough to do. I can rewrite this as 8, 9, 13, 3, 6, 10, 11, 15, 7, 1. Okay? Now, that's step one. Always I want to move this duplicate, right? That it's not just I'm putting the first thing at the end. It's I notice I have these duplicate C's, and I want to move this first duplicate to the end of the cycle. Okay, now next thing I do is I find where I have the end of we'll call it like the C cycle, right? So I went from C here all the way to a C there, right? That was a C over the 11. Okay, so going to break up this cycle at that C. Okay, so I'm going to actually figure out, okay, the C was over the 11, and I'm just going to close off the cycle at the 11, and then the rest of this, the 15, 7, 1, I make that into its own cycle. Okay, and let me copy the letters again. That's going to be helpful for us. T-E-O, T-A-T, C-R-O, and then the C, remember, came from the beginning. Okay, now, just as a little proof of concept, let's see that we're really still sending things to the right places, right? These are not equal, right? This product of cycles does not equal this original cycle anymore. But I claim the letters will still go to the same place. Okay, so you can see here, the letters go diagonally to the right. So T goes to 9, hey, just like it did there. E to 13, O to 3, T to 6, A to 10. Okay, those should all be the same. T goes to 11, cool, T goes to 11. Now where does C go? C goes back to 8. And that's where this C went. Okay, it's not the same C. This C, which looks like that C, that was supposed to go to 15, but now look, it goes to 8. But that's okay because we do have a C going to 8, which we needed. Okay, now over here, R goes to 7, O goes to 1, okay, O went back to 1, and then the C here goes to 15. Hey, that's this C going to 15. So the roles of the C's actually swapped, but we don't care because we just need to put a C into the correct place. All right, now let's count how many swaps. Remember before we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, if we did swaps again, we'd get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hey, by doing this little trick, we were able to decrease our swaps by 1. Let's keep going though, because look, I have T, T, T. That's a triple T. Okay, so I can move this T to the end, right, of this, what is that now, a 7 cycle. So let me write this down here. We have, we're going to move the 8 to the end. So we have 9, 13, 3, 6, 10, 11, 8. Okay, and I'm just going to ignore this 15, 7, 1. Okay, let's write the letters above this. So we have E, O, T, A, T, C, T. So what I want to do is look at this sort of penultimate T here, and I'm going to break it up again. So I'll have the 11, 8, and then I'll have 9, 13, 3, 6, 10. Okay, and we check, is everything going to the right place? E still goes to 13, O goes to 3, T goes to 6, A goes to 10. Okay, no problem there. What about this T? Originally, T went to 11. Now T goes to 9. Not a problem, though, because look, this T over here was supposed to go to a 9. Now over here, C goes to 8. Okay, well, this C went back to 8. And where does this T go? This T originally went to 9, but now it goes to 11. But that's okay, because that T was supposed to go to 11. All right, so now, if we broke this up with transpositions, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, that's one closer to 10. Can we get rid of one more? Absolutely, because check it out. This up here again has 2 T's. So I'm going to break it up again. I don't have to move anything because the T's already at the end here. I want to break it up after the T. So 9, 13, 3, and then 6, 10. Okay, let's write our letters above here. So we have E, O, T, A, T. E still goes to 13, O goes to 3. What about this T? Originally went to 6. Now it goes to the 9. But that's okay because this t had to go to a 9, right? So it's okay. What about over here? A goes to 10. T, well, originally was supposed to go to 9, but now it goes to 6. But that's okay because that t had to go to a 6. So we've done it. All right, and we check again. How many transpositions are we going to need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my gosh, we did it. Okay, so let's break this up, right? This is 9, 13, 13, 3. This up here is 15, 7, 7, 1. We put it all together now. So what do we want to use? We're going to have 9, 13, 13, 3, 6, 10, 11, 8, 15, 7, 7, 1, 2, 5, 5, 12, 12, 14, and 14, 4. Okay, and we'll double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my gosh, it took 10 swaps. Now, let's actually see if this works. Let's go check it out on wafflegame.net. Okay, so here we are over on wafflegame.net, and I want to apply this permutation I found. So remember, we have to apply it right to left. So the very first thing we saw was 14 and 4. So the 14 is this spot down here, this V, and the 4 swaps the V with the L. So move that up. Then we go to 12 and 14. So 12 is this E, 14 still that bottom middle. Okay, then we go to 5 and 12. So here's the 5, and we just drop it down twice. Then we go to 2, 5. So here's the 2, and there's the 5. And then we go to 7, 1. So let's see, 7 is this O, and the 1 is up that C. All right, and then we do 15, 7. So 15 is down here. Swap it with the 7. Let's see, 11, 8. So the 11 is here, and the 8 is that T. And then we do 6, 10. So here's the 6. 10 is just one down. Let's see, then it was 13, 3. So here's the 13 and the 3 up with the T. And then finally, we're supposed to do 9 and 13. And check it out. It took us exactly 10. We got to the answer. All right, so the moral of this story is, yes, there's still a puzzle here, right? You have to figure out what the words are. But if you can work out all the words before you do any swaps, then you should every single time 100% be able to get a 5-star rating on this waffle puzzle. All right, take care. Leave any questions in the comments. We'll see you next time.